Hello everyone, welcome to the chemistry class. Today I am going to start new chapter of chemistry, chapter 2, is matter around a sphere. In the last chapter we studied about matter. What is matter, its nature, different states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gases, and how interconversion of states takes place. What are the various processes involved in that? Now this chapter deals with purity of matter. The word pure here is having entirely different meaning than what we use in our daily life. And as we go through this chapter, you will understand it. We'll not start with definition of pure. Okay? Because one by one, when you go through all the topics, then only you'll understand the meaning of purity or pure matter. What is pure matter or impure matter? This chapter. So here is the content of the chapter that I'm going to cover in this chapter. We'll start with pure matter. This pure matter can be subdivided into elements and compounds. Pure matter is also known as substance. Then impure matter, which is also known as mixtures, and it is also having subparts. It is divided into homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures, and further you can divide homogeneous as solution and heterogeneous as colloids and suspensions. Though these terms, they are new for you, but at the end of chapter you will understand all these terms. And then in the end we will study about separation techniques, that includes from simple filtration to magnetic separation, distillation, fractional distillation, then centrifugation, sublimation, many techniques. That also we'll see one by one. And we will try to even do some experiments based on this separation technique. So today in this class, I will give you a little bit introduction about elements and compounds that will help you in at least getting a little bit of understanding of pure substance, pure or substance. So elements and compounds. Now, all the matter, you know, what is matter? Everything which is having mass and volume. All the matter is made up of small particles, that also you know, right? Now this particle has a smallest structural unit which is known as atoms. So now what I am doing is I am giving a name to these particles. I am calling them atoms. Though this is not the exact definition, in further chapters you will understand more deeply about atom. But as of now, this thing we talked about particle nature of matter, and this particle is nothing but I am giving it as the name atom. Okay, so all matter is made up of atoms, and depending upon this atom, you can distinguish different matter. Okay, now let's start with elements. Now you know there are various types of different type of matter around you. Some are gases, some are liquid, some are solid. And even in solid, if let's say I will talk about iron and wood. Both are solid, but one is very, if I have to distinguish their property, other than this similarity of they are solid. One difference is iron is good conductor of electricity, whereas wood is not. Right? And there are many other differences. So this is one of the main differences. So why both are solid but still they have different properties? So what are the things that are governing these properties, that are making them good conductor or bad conductor? Yes, these particles, atoms, electrons and protons which are inside this atom. Okay, atom decides property of any element, any substance, any matter you are talking about. Okay, so all things are made up of atoms. Now, if you have same kind of atom, for let's say for sake of understanding, I am considering one of the elements. Let's say I will talk about iron only. It is having atom of square shape. Okay, so And I'm again telling you this is just for sake of understanding. Okay. So let's say iron. It is having atoms of square shape. That means if I talk about iron anytime, I will have this square shape atoms. Okay. Or if you don't want to take shape, then let's say it is always having red color atoms. Okay. So whenever I talk about iron, it is having same type of atom, red color and square in shape. So iron is known as element because all atoms will exhibit same properties. Either I took one atom or any other atom from iron metal, they'll look identically same. There will be no difference. Okay. But let's say if instead of iron, I am taking another element. Now element can be anything. Element doesn't mean only solid. Okay. Element can be solid, liquid and gases, anything. So let's say I'm talking about now oxygen. So oxygen is also a type of matter. It is also made up of atom. So let's imagine oxygen is also made up of atom. Now atom of oxygen are round. Okay. So let's say if I write oxygen, what comes in my mind is round atoms. And no matter from where you are taking this oxygen, it is always having round blue color atoms inside. Okay, all will be alike. So this is, iron is one element, oxygen is also one element. So whenever I say the word element, that means atoms in that element will be all these identical, same in all respects. All the properties will be same. Okay. Now, let's talk about iron oxide. Okay. So when iron, it is kept in atmosphere, so it reacts with air, moisture, and it forms iron oxide. That is rust. Okay. Now, this rust, it is having a formula of Fe2O3. Or instead of formula, what I will not write formula right now. I will simply write when these two combine. So when I add these two, what I will get is iron oxide, which is also known as rust. Okay. Now this iron oxide, how its atom will look like? So it will be the combination of iron and oxygen, depending on in which composition, in which percentage they are mixing, you will get iron oxide. Okay. So for iron oxide, formula is Fe2O3. That means 2 atoms of iron and 3 atoms of Fe. And for as of now, I am simply making a very simple structure. And again, I am repeating, this is just for sake of understanding. Let's assume this iron oxide is now having a structure, whereas what you have is 1 iron, 1 oxygen, 1 iron, 1 oxygen. Sorry, this is like this. Okay. Now, this iron oxide is made up of 2 types of atoms, right? So you have here 2 types of atoms. One is red, one is blue. One is that is round, one is square. So this type of substance is known as compound. Okay. So this 2, if I have to write, this is element. This is element. Both are elements. But now iron oxide is now made up of 2 types of atoms. So this is known as compound. And one most important property of compound, these elements, they combine to form compound, but they combine in definite proportion. Okay, they always combine in definite proportion. Now what is meaning of definite proportion? So for that, again I will take one simple example. So for that, what I will do is, I will take example of water. So what is formula of water? So water, if I have to write, it is nothing but H2O. So hydrogen and oxygen, right? So when hydrogen, which is an element, oxygen, which is an element, when these two combine, what they will give is water. that is H2O. And now this H2O is what? You have two different type of atoms. Okay, so this is your compound. Now, whenever you say water, it is always H2O. It is not H2O2. It is not HO2. We cannot write like this. This is nothing. It will not exist. Okay, so for compound elements, they combine always in some definite proportion. No matter from where you are taking water, it will always have formula H2O. That means 2 atom of hydrogen, 1 atom of oxygen. It will not be like this or like this. And later on we will see why these are not possible. Okay. So, the difference between element and compound, elements are made up of same kind of atom, whereas compound is made up of two different kind of elements mixed in or combined in definite proportion. The whole difference between element and compound is clear to you. Now, why they are known as pure substance? Why they are called as pure or substance? Because you cannot break them into constituent parts simply by any physical method. Okay, so if you have to, let's say, break H2O, you have to apply some chemical technique. By any physical technique, if I filter H2O, I will not get hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so there is no any physical technique which can be used to separate its constituents. Elements, they cannot be further divided. Even compounds, you cannot separate its constituents simply by any physical method. Okay, you need chemical methods, application of chemical methods. Okay, that's why they are known as pure substance. So hope why they are known as pure is clear to you. And more about this, if you are aware about periodic table, in periodic table you have 118 elements. Okay, and you can combine them in different form to get as many compounds as you want. But yes, because they combine in definite proportion, not all type of, like if you write any formula and it is a compound, no, it is not like that. The combining of two different atoms also required to follow some rules, then only they can combine and give you a compound. So more about this, we'll study in next class.